Now, that's the language part over. The next part of this video, I'm going to talk about my own language journey. This one's a little bit personal, and it's a little bit, how do I say this? On YouTube, I've noticed that a lot of people, a lot of polyglots, a lot of language people are really, really good. And it's very scary for me, right? Or for you maybe as well, because everyone is so amazing. And the videos are beautiful and wow. And one thing I just wanted to show you, this language journey, mainly because I want to show you that with language learning, you don't just you 0 or 100. There are times where you're good, times where you're not good, and times where you make mistakes as well. So I'm going to show you what I know. I feel like a beginner in all these languages, and yeah, I'm really actually nervous to do this because I've never done this before, but we'll see. If I'm not too lazy, then I'll put subtitles, probably in English. I'll try my best. I'll figure a way to edit some subtitles in. But forgive me in advance because probably I will make a lot of mistakes. I will say all the grammar wrong. My pronunciation will probably be horrible. I will sound like a total idiot. And that is okay. I want to show you, and for all of my students who are looking, I want to show you for sure. Making mistakes is part of it. In fact, for most of my students who are watching this right now, you will realize that your English level is much better than JJ's level in other languages. So remember that. You guys and girls, you are doing amazing. I just want to encourage you and to remind you of that. Last thing before I begin with this part is that some people want to fight a lot about what is a language and what is a dialect. There is one, I don't remember who said it. I'll probably find the quote and put it in the link. But I really love this idea. A language is a dialect with an army and a navy. In other words, a language and dialect, the only reason why it's a language or a dialect is because of politics, because of society, because of people. And so just to be careful when we think of, when we're arguing about what's a language and what's a dialect, personally, it's not that important because if you can communicate, good job. If you can't, then learn how to. But yeah, just wanted to mention that. Okay, so here we go. Without further ado, let's begin. Oh, I'm so nervous. Okay, number one. 第一個語言係廣東話。So 我係香港人，我喺香港出世，但係因為我喺香港淨係住咗3年，所以我的廣東話好渣。講真，我而家都唔用廣東話，我淨係同媽咪講。同埋每日都我而家同朋友唔講廣東話，因為我太驚，因為我的口音好似點講呢？好似外國人講廣東話一樣。所以我的廣東話我識聽冇問題，但係我講的時候，就有啲感覺好，講真好驚，同埋我而家 而家新年快樂，而家恭喜發財，新年快樂，所以而家會講多啲，因為而家同家人會講一啲，但係我冇學過廣東話，淨喺屋企講。屋企然之後讀寫我淨係識讀車仔麵嗰啲嘢，淨係識讀點柯華田咩俄羅斯湯，好簡單的嘢。所以廣東話對我嚟講係我第一個語言，我第一個語言學識，但係而家一定唔係淨係英文係英文係我最正最叻的語言。同埋我每次講廣東話，因為我廣東話同普通話兩個都會溝埋，所以有時候如果我唔識嗰個字用廣東話講，我就會諗下普通話點講，然之後會翻譯，有時候得，有時候唔得，所以呢個係我廣東話的故事。將來我要學識，將來可能要學識，將來可能要學多啲，要講多啲，要聽多啲，因為廣東話對我嚟講好重要，係我點講呢？文化同埋我的家庭的 I don't know how to say history in 廣東話的。對唔住媽咪，如果你睇緊呢個video 嘅話，對唔住，因為我而家可能太驚，我咩都唔記得，我咩都 全部啲嘢都唔記得，所以對唔住，對唔住。So, number 2 is English. Now, English is not my first language that I learned. That was Cantonese from, in my case, Hong Kong. But English is, of course, my best language. I consider myself a native speaker of English because I've learned English my whole life. My entire life, I was a TCK, a third culture kid. I grew up in Asia, in different places in Asia. And with English, I always went to school in different international schools. I was lucky and privileged to have that experience. So English, I love it. And now I'm an English teacher, so that makes sense. And with English, I've always just I love reading, and that's what made me fall in love with English. Actually, it's not because of the language. The language is blah. Now that I'm a teacher, I realize English, the grammar, some of it's really stupid. And some of it makes no sense. You have the combination of all these different, you have the Germanic side of things, with the Angles and the Saxons, right? We call it English because of the Angles, right? Land of the Angles, the Germanic peoples, it's mixed with the native Bretons, the Britons, the Roman, the Celtic peoples. And then it got mixed. And of course, then you have the Norman invasion. You have William the Conqueror of Normandy, and you have Norman French coming in. And so English is strange. And then you have, of course, the Latin influence, the French, the German, the mix of all this grammar and vocabulary. It's a weird language. The only reason why, in my opinion, English is the world language is not because the language is better than any other language. It's just history. It's just history because of different countries and powers that won different things. I mean, if Napoleon had won the Battle of Waterloo, if USA did not become a superpower, if blah, 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 maybe we'd be speaking a different language right now. Maybe the global language would be different. Now, for English, really important for my students, I want to remind you that most of the people who speak English are not native speakers. Around the world, I believe there are 2 billion speakers of English, but only 400 million are native speakers. That means that if you're not a native speaker of English, actually, maybe your English is the correct one. Because if you think about it, there's only 400 million of native speakers. Maybe they are the strange ones. So just remember, when people try to use English as a tool of, I'm better than you, they're crazy. Because it's just another language. It doesn't mean you're smart or stupid. It's just a language. And if people, if you're afraid of an accent, well, it's okay. Accents are just about where you're from, your identity. So don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Everyone has an accent, even in English. Someone from the US, from Canada, from UK, from New Zealand, from Australia, from South Africa. Everyone has different accents. So I just want to encourage you, if you're currently learning English right now, don't be afraid that maybe you're afraid of your accent or your grammar, and it's totally fine. It's part of the process. Number 3. 第3个语言就是普通话，中文普通话。我在北京住了12年，所以我学了普通话。但是就像广东话一样，我现在不用，我不经常用，所以我的普通话现在很差。而我在北京的时候，我是怎么说呢？我在北京的时候，因为我学校经常是大部分只用英文，只用英语，所以我可能每礼拜可能几个小时，可能2个3个小时，只有3个小时学中文。在课堂上，在课中我不是很好的学生，我每天只读书，只读我的那个英文书，而我不听话，所以我什么都学不了。然后我现在为什么我会讲普通话？因为我在北京的时候经常没事做，你知道吗？所以我就经常去，可能我在顺义那边，然后我就会坐那个地铁。Wait, I don't know if you call it 地铁 in 普通话。我坐那个地铁到兴国站那边呗，兴国站国贸货五道口，然后就每次都走来走去吃饭，吃羊肉串，吃煎饼果子那样的东西。所以对我来说， 每次我听中文的时候，普通话的时候，对我来说就是为了吃饭，为了吃路边那些东西，而现在我可能有的时候我觉得我的普通话可能比我的广东话可能现在可能好一点，但就像我广东话，我现在在多伦多，在加拿大，差不多9年、10年，差不多9年没经常用普通话和广东话，所以忘了很多，口音也挺差，没问题啊，就是这挺正常的，所以这是我普通话。Yeah, and the fourth one, so the fourth language, عربي. وانا هلا ما اتمرن عربي كتير بعدين انا بنسى كتير كلمه بنسى كتير جمله بالعربي اسف وانا بس هلا اتعلمت عربي 1 سنه يمكن 1 سنه بس بنسى لانه انا ما اتمرن هلا ما بحكي عربي 2 سنة. اوه مان 2 سنة و يا اسف انا معلمة من سوريا بعدين انا حلا امتى انا اتعلم عربي انا بحب وانا اتعلم شامي عربي so yeah وانا بحب اكل بالعربي وانا بحب اكل كل عدم كل يوم اكل لانه انا جوعان كتير all the time و ما بعرف ليش اتعلم عربي ما بعرف يمكن انا بس انا مجنون بس بعدين ان شاء الله انا بدي مسافر بلاد سوريا بلاد لبنان مصر etc بس ما بعرف هلا في تورونتو انا بحكي شوي انا بحكي شوي لانه امتى انا اكل my brain just died but yes that's all I got for Arabic so انا بحب عربي انا بحب اللغات عربية بس اسف لانه انا حلا ما اتمرن وبعدين انا في بس هلا لا sorry so yes that's my Arabic. I feel so embarrassed right now, but I'm gonna keep going. Sorry for my Arabic speakers if I said something that made no sense. I am sorry. Asif. Number 5. Cinco. Ahora español. Ahora mi cabeza qué dolor porque diferentes idiomas y cambio más, entonces ahora yo no sé nada. Y español para mí es un sueño porque antes es normal, pero antes cuando yo I don't know how to say cuando yo fue el niño me encanta, por ejemplo, la música Shakira, diferentes músicas latinos, por ejemplo, salsa, bachata. Para mí, ahora grupo mejor es Habana de Primera de Cuba. Y me encanta diferentes estilos de músicas latinos, música I don't know, es muy interesante para mí. Yo no sé por qué, pero el ritmo es con mi alma es que chévere. Entonces, por ejemplo, afrocubano, especialmente sabor con diferentes misturas juntos, la cultura Europa, cultura África, cultura indígenas de Sudamérica. y es muy, muy, muy interesante. Por ejemplo, rumba Yambú, Guaguancó, rumba Colombia, afrocubano, etcétera, son, especialmente, para mí especialmente música de Cuba, pero ahora me encanta músicas, tradiciones diferentes también, por ejemplo, Puerto Rico con salsa de Héctor Lavoe, antes la Fania. Es muy interesante también, muy, muy rico. Y en Dominican, República Dominica, de Dominica, disculpa, Dominican Republic. I don't remember how to say the country right now. But, bachata, así, bachata también. Especialmente, especialmente Juan Soriano. Uf, I love him. Y español es, soy profesor de inglés y entonces mis estudiantes, muchas personas de diferentes países, Latinoamérica, Sudamérica, por ejemplo, Colombia, Venezuela, México, Perú, Panamá, Bolivia, Ecuador, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, dependiente, Bolivia, dependiente, pero tengo también. Y porque eso, yo quiero aprender o sea, la experiencia de mis estudiantes cuando aprender inglés. Yo quiero aprender wow, muy diferente, muy difícil. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué difícil? Porque con el proceso cuando aprender un idioma, yo quiero entender esos dificultades, esos desafíos y todos. Entonces, para eso razón, yo aprender español. Y ahora es muy... Es súper bien para mí, es súper, súper chévere, porque antes, por ejemplo, en 2010 y 9 o 8, 9 o 8, 9, I think, 2019. Yo tengo oportunidad y viajar para Colombia y es súper un viaje para mí súper, súper, súper bien y me encanta todo. Me encanta, Colombia es un país para mí es que mejor, súper, 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 súper bien. Yo tengo oportunidad de encontrar solo 2 semanas, pero encontrar muchos lugares. Por ejemplo, Bogotá, obviamente, Bogotá, Villa de Leyva y Medellín, Guatapé y El Peñol, Cartagena, Isla Barú y Barranquilla. Y todos, Barranquilla por Carnaval. Es mi primera vez en Barranquilla, mi primera vez en Carnaval, que Monocugo fue bacano y me encanta todo. Entonces, personas colombianas súper amigables y me encanta. Entonces, después, en futuro, ojalá yo voy a continuar a aprender español y yo quiero viajar a diferentes países yo no sé por qué, pero tal vez bailar, tal vez comer. Qué normal, la verdad, qué normal. Entonces, finalmente, number 6, number 6, Portugués. It's Portuguese and português. Por quê? Porque a verdade, português para mim é um idioma que é interessante também, porque eu gosto, especialmente som do português. Para mim, eu não sei porquê, mas é o ritmo, é o sotaque português, que legal, que é interessante, né? E antes, por exemplo, quando aprender espanhol, eu descobri, gosto de aprender diferentes idiomas. Então, para português, agora faz um ano. Faz um ano. Coronavírus faz talvez só uma semana. Faz uma semana coronavírus aqui no Canadá, like lockdown, quarantine. Eu tenho oportunidade e viajei para o Brasil. Uau! Que legal tudo. 3 cidades, São Paulo, obviamente, São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro e Salvador. Uau! Carnaval do Salvador, um pouco de afrobloco, um pouco de blocos do Rio também, mas especialmente Salvador, trios elétricos uau! Que legal, porque quando viajei no Brasil, ok, eu sei um pouco, eu sei espanhol, mas diferente, porque espanhol e português talvez parecido mais, mas para mim, respeito, entendi, respeito para brasileiros, respeito para país novo. Então, para mim, minha viagem do Brasil para o Brasil, quero aprender português, porque não quero. Agora sim, meu sotaque é gringo, ok, entendi, mas desafio novo também, e quero conectar com o pessoal do Brasil. Antes, para cultura, por exemplo, para mim, gosto português, idioma português, porque eu gosto música, especialmente música do Angola, por exemplo, samba, por exemplo, kizomba, e então músicas brasileiras também, samba, funk, carioca funk, forró, axé um pouco, sertanejo, mas ok. Tá também, mas que legal. E comida também, comida brasileiros, gosto mais, feijoada, e especialmente muqueca, acarajé, que legal. Agora talvez aprendi português para um ano mais, e eu vou continuar, porque muitos lugares todo do mundo com português. Por exemplo, no futuro eu vou viajar no Angola, no Portugal, e essa um idioma que é melhor também. Então gosto português mais também. Obrigado. Então, assim, my brain hurts so much right now because I have no idea what I just said. When I'm going to edit this, I have no idea if I made any sense. But those are my languages. As you can see, I made many mistakes. I probably said a lot of nonsense, but that's my journey so far. And so I want to encourage you. It's definitely possible. And yeah, that's it. I didn't think I was a language person or anything. It was just something that, I wanted to travel somewhere. Okay, well, what can we do? And I tried to make it easy for me. And in my following videos, I'll probably talk more about more like specific tips and stuff, whether it's learning English or learning other languages. Like I said, if there's anything you want to learn in particular, please message me in the comments. I read all the comments because I don't have any right now, but I read all the comments and I'll respond to them if I can. And thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe. That's what you say on YouTube. Like and subscribe, and feel free to share with your friends. But most importantly, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, a great week, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you next week. So that's JJ out. Catch you later. Bye.